The fun part about running a music channel is not being able to listen to it. Something that makes it difficult for me to make content for this channel is my audio processing disorder, which I do acknowledge is kind of funny in a f***ed up type of way. Like, making a whole hobby off my love for music while also being unable to interact with it is asking for disaster. I have misophonia. Misophonia is a disorder described by a sensitivity to certain sounds, usually being mouth-related noises. The most common types now triggers for it. What is going on? Why did it do that? Why did it do that? Why is it doing this to me? The most common types of triggers are chewing sounds or anything wet sounding. I believe it is a relatively common disorder, so you might have it to some degree. The main issue is that I definitely have a slightly more extreme case of this disorder, where I can't even hear people talk normally without losing my mind. The symptoms of this include extreme rage or aggression, depression, and emotional distress. These symptoms can lead to isolation from others in an effort to avoid these grating noises. It's like if whenever you heard these types of triggers, you got stabbed in the brain, and it really hurts and makes you feel extremely annoyed and angry, but you can't do anything about it. Whispering is another sound that can really trigger me. I guess it's because it highlights the certain sounds that hurt my brain, like the harsh S sound or a clicky C or K sound. I can't listen to most pop girls like Ariana Grande or Sabrina Carpenter because that type of modern singing where they go so high and airy really bothers me. In fact, I'd say I can't listen to about 70 to 85% of all music because of this. Certain vocalists I am sure to be okay with, but I'll go into that. But most of the time, people leave in sounds that I just can't handle. Usually songs with louder vocals are okay for me because it's the opposite of the whispering effect. It hides the evil noises. I'm gonna go into music that's okay for me to listen to versus music that I literally cannot or can never listen to. Hopefully I'll have a better understanding of this by the end. Yeah. There's no specific type of music I can listen to, as it always relies on the vocals present. Though I can listen to music that has a singer that sings with a lot of oomph. Artists like My Chemical Romance, Stomach Book, and The Garden, who have more punchy and loud vocals, are usually okay for me to listen to. There's less opportunity for triggering noises to sneak through the more abrasive noises. Whispery or quieter vocals can be okay if done very, very carefully. Like, if you avoid making a clicky C or K noise, then it's bearable for me. Although, a fun part about misophonia is that even the concept of whispering has turned into a triggering sound, just because I'm bracing for the worst. Misophonia also does that with visuals, making it triggering just to watch people eat because it entails chewing noises. Speaking of chewing noises, Blow My Load by Tyler the Creator probably has the most triggering section of any song ever, but somehow I can bear it knowing that it'll end soon, or I can just mute that section. Hip-hop in general is one of the safest genres for me to listen to, considering that there is less singing and more normal talking, which substantially lessens the amount of bad noises there are. Of course, this does not mean all hip-hop is acceptable for me, as there are definitely a few albums or artists I unfortunately have to stay away from. Magdalena Bay is an artist that I can sometimes bear. The singer has very whispery vocals, but sometimes manages the amount of evil noises she produces, and a lot of the time, she manages to avoid making any in her normal singing. When she does trigger me, I think I've gotten so used to her voice that it's less effective than when other artists do. But obviously it is a rare scenario for an artist to be so cool with me that I somehow manage the noises. Of course, I don't control who that is though, I really try my best. But as I mentioned, there are so much more music that I can't listen to. So I guess I'll have to talk about that now. Honestly, where do I even begin with this section? I have to clarify that this is a no hate to anybody, and I'll try not to call people out specifically. The truth is that most singers naturally make these noises, and there's no specific reason for them to be cut out, so they're left in. It's just a natural part of singing, and as much as it actually tortures me to listen to, they don't know that. It hurts me way more not being able to listen to the music than it hurts your opinion or the artist. And I'd do anything to be able to listen to this music happily, especially knowing I would really enjoy it. I mentioned mainstream pop music like Taylor Swift, Gracie Abrams, and Ariana Grande. They're just completely off limits for me. Although Taylor Swift does have some songs I can actually manage, so if I give Taylor Swift any credit, it's that I can actually enjoy her music sometimes. and that's not a feat many artists can accomplish. I was really sad when I couldn't listen to Pedal by Ariana Grande, because I thought I would have really liked it. Well, maybe not really liked it, but I would have enjoyed it. But that's just how it has to be, I guess. You're not going to be surprised when I say that Billie Eilish is absolutely unlistenable for me. All of her songs are whispery from what I've heard, and not just that, but they're specifically so airy and obnoxious to me. I really like her instrumentals, and I think there's so many of her songs that I like, but I can't really bear listening to it, and that makes me a little bit sad. I did mention that hip-hop was mostly good, but there are a few things I can't listen to. A recent example of this is Cry Baby by Vince Staples. This album is super good instrumentally and lyrically, but vocally I can't get past it. If you listen to this album, you can notice how he pronounces the C's and how they bring such a strong clicking noise. Also, his delivery is a bit mumbly, which once again brings out the triggering noises, similar to how whispering works. The new Kill Bill album, I Think I Found the End, is another great example of hip-hop gone wrong, for me personally. His voice on this album is so deep and raspy, and I don't know if he's vaping too much or if he's trying to do that, but unfortunately I can't stand it. It brings out all the noises just like the mumbling. Once again, these are not disses against these artists. It's just real statements about things I can't really handle, and it's not my fault for that. Neither is it theirs. I promise I would really like these people if I could, it's just I kind of like almost physically can't bear it. I've made one album, and honestly, my vocals aren't very good anyway. But I do have to say, I'm singing in a specific, odd way that purposefully gets rid of triggering noises on playback. I barely whisper, and when I do, it's making sure that nothing bad sneaks through. I'm not blaming my horrible vocals on my disorder, of course. But I am saying that maybe that either makes my music worse, or more unique, or maybe more worse and more unique. It's not like my voice is that great singing normally anyways. If you want to learn how to talk to avoid these noises, use this guide. Make sure C and K noises are stopped before a click. Make sure S's aren't sharp and they're short, going from short to like, I don't know, short. And underpronunciate your G's and P's, although the last two are less important. Go from click to click. I've lost real relationships due to people not understanding this disorder, and it really does ruin a lot for me. Spreading info about it is all I can do to improve myself. This is kinda a less interesting video, but like I said, there's not much to talk about on this channel, lol. If you have any music suggestions that you think I'll be able to listen to, please let me know. I hope y'all learned something new, and subscribe to me to show your support on my videos, not my disorder. I'm not trying to manipulate you into subscribing. Bye!